Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to VALORANT News, and what a set of matches we had yesterday in the VCT. Incredibly important to determine who's going to go to the playoffs and who is not going to go to the playoffs, which is certainly the key story here of the day. Bit of drama between 100 Thieves and Ethan, as you might well expect, but also Sentinels is their chance of making the last chance qualifier now, and any chance they might remaining have of going to the champions completely out of the window now. Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. Not far off 19k. The support the last few days has been absolutely spectacular. This, of course, we shall get into here, the whole 100 Thieves situation. Wanted to talk real quick about the EMEA region, though. Pretty much as expected yesterday, Gil take down BBL without too much of a fight. Like, of course, over here, only 3 teams out of the 6 get through to the playoffs. In North America, there are 4 teams, but in North America, the bracket works rather differently, so the number 1 seed out of the group is actually rather important. Now, well, Guild win this series 2-0 anyway, and the second series actually was Fnatic versus Focus, and they won this one in dominant fashion. No real surprises there. Fnatic looking really good right now in that European side. Focus are a good team, but yeah, not going to be able to compete with Fnatic at the moment. Like, yeah, the 1v2 for Busher does not work out to his favour, and these then are the groups in the European side. So yeah, Guild 4-0, Fnatic 4-0, and these 3 teams here from Group A, maybe in that order, who knows, will advance through to the playoffs, but the way it works in North America is that the number 1 team gets a bye through the winners bracket, and the number 4 team actually starts in the losers bracket, right? So the number 1 seed in North America is actually rather important. Not so critical here, because if this stays as it is, Fnatic might play M3 champion stage or round 1 of the playoffs, which might be pretty hard for them, right? But, you know, the bye is a very big deal indeed, especially starting in losers. That's also a big deal. So you want to be the number 1 seed in North America, and then we'll see some teams fighting out for it at the moment. Of course, let's just dive into the North American VALORANT situation. Wanted to mention this, though, real quick, because as Sky points out, this is kind of his kind of theory on what's going to happen here for, well, the points going into the last chance qualifier. So the way it works is the top 2 teams from North America automatically, in terms of circuit points, they qualify automatically for champions. Then the next 8 teams behind those top 2, they go to the last chance qualifier, where they then battle it out, and well, effectively the winner of that gets to go as well with the 2 top seeds from the region. So OpTic, with all the points they have, they're guaranteed, absolutely guaranteed to go to champions already. But then there are some teams behind them. So the guy have a lot of points, they are for sure, and Exit and Cloud9 and LG. These teams have a fair few points. They are guaranteed to go at least to the last chance qualifier. The problem is there's so many teams on the cusp here that Sentinels now, after having 45 points, because they failed to make the playoffs, are very much in, well, jeopardy, because if teams make the playoffs around them and they get points from the playoffs, then it's those teams that will actually be able to overcome Sentinels, right? And Sentinels need to be in the top 8 outside of the top 2. So right now, I guess they're kind of 5th here out of these numbers, but if they drop down to 9th, as they might well do and probably have done based on what's happened today, then they will be out of there. So effectively, they need the teams below them to not get any more points in an ideal world. So these teams, like, no, not make playoffs, don't make playoffs, don't get any more points. The issue is that 100 Thieves have done exactly that, and FaZe are kind of in a similar boat as well. So some of these teams in a similar boat, if Sentinels had made playoffs, they would have been good enough, I think, to probably make it through to the last chance qualifier, at least have a chance to actually play something, because the problem is if they're out of the LCQ, there's nothing for them to play for the rest of the year. So they might as well just blow it up, or, you know, whatever they want to do, or take a few months off and stream, you know how it is. So this was the explanation here. Guard, Exed, C9, LG, they've qualified at least for the last chance qualifier. Evil Geniuses, 100 Thieves, NRG, and FaZe, they need to qualify for playoffs to qualify for the LCQ. So all of these teams need to qualify for the playoffs, which, well, they may well do, but is not guaranteed yet for NRG, but FaZe have done exactly that later on today, which is seemingly the death sentence here for Sentinels. TSM and Ghost need to make top 6 in playoffs to qualify for the LCQ, and Sentinels, they qualify if neither TSM or Ghost makes top 6. One of those 2 counts is true, but in Ghost, well, yet to be determined, and FaZe doesn't qualify. FaZe qualifying, though, brings FaZe probably above Sentinels, which might push them out guaranteed of that top 8. So I'm not sure it's 100% guaranteed yet, but it's almost certain that Sentinels have nothing to play for the rest of the year. Let's dive into these series then, because of course 100 Thieves, they're currently below, well, not for long. Sentinels in the standings, they need to put some points up. They played, of course, former 100 Thieves player Ethan. Ethan made the decision when the whole roster change situation was going down, like they wanted to bring him in as part of their roster, they wanted to keep him, and then they said, okay, we can't really find players to work at, let's give it a few more days. And then Ethan said, look, like, I'm not really sure this project is going to work for me, I'm going to leave, I'm going to go back to NRG, I'm going to bet on that being the option. And when he first joined their team, they were looking absolutely spectacular. But now, though, they play 100 Thieves last night, the rematch, of course, between Ethan and his former organization. Did he make the correct decision? Did the team make the correct decision getting rid of him? That was, of course, a very controversial one at the time, and building a roster they currently have. Seems like that is exactly the case. Both of these series, or both of these maps in the series, are pretty comfortable. It's 100 Thieves 13-9. 100 Thieves, like, they have this potential to just blow teams out lately. They do seem to always lose to TSM, but outside of that, they've been looking phenomenal. 13-9 game 1, and then 13-4 it was here on Bind game 2. Like, this was just domination for the nation, to be honest. NRG got bodied. Like, they've been really struggling lately, actually. I mean, they won their 10 maps in a row or something when this team was first formed. Since then, they have not been looking great, but I want to see this wasn't particularly close, especially for kind of a grudge match, honestly, in a series here. And 100 Thieves winning this one, they solidify their spot as the #1 seed for now, but that can certainly change in Group A. But also qualifying for the playoffs, absolutely 100% guaranteed. Like, it does show, I think, what happens when you bring in a proper coach, a proper general manager, and you say, okay, look, we're going to build this roster from the ground up. We're going to pick the best players in each particular role. We're going to pick up guys that we want. We're going to boot camp with the team. We're going to, make a great team culture of guys that want to win and want to improve and all this type of stuff. And that's exactly what this team is. They've got the talent, but they've also got like incredible team chemistry, it seems, willingness to improve and to learn. And I mean, they've been improving pretty much every single day at this point. And I'm sure DDK and Jorgez are ecstatic about their progress, because right now they're looking like an absolute force to be reckoned with there from Group A, and understandably so. Next stop, playoffs then. So guaranteed 100 Thieves going to playoffs. Of course, the story from there will certainly continue. But 100 Thieves in the playoffs, as Derek says, played super well as a team today. Thanks for all the support. We also don't have to play TSM again in the playoffs. So they've beat everyone but TSM, and TSM will not be in the playoffs. 400 Thieves to potentially lose to once again, right? So they're feeling very confident right now indeed, and who can honestly blame them? As Som says from NRG, though, 0-2 versus 100 Thieves. Embarrassing to lose this much. Do or die next week. So NRG can still qualify, but they have effectively a grudge match, a must-win match up against the Guard. The winner of that series goes all the way to playoffs. The loser does not make it through. Asuna with a few words actually to say for Ethan here. 2-0 versus NRG, 3-1 in groups. We secure playoffs. Can't lie, it does feel nice to beat my ex-teammate Ethan, right? So that's the thing. Like, I'm sure to a degree Asuna feels like Ethan, he probably could have stayed on the team if he'd have wanted to, but also the team decided to get rid of him at the end of the day, and they came to a mutual arrangement there. But I'm sure they're still good friends and stuff. But definitely for Asuna, it's going to feel, okay, this guy decided to leave. We built a team. I'm beating him anyway pretty comfortably. And Ethan must be thinking, okay, damn, hang on a second. Did I make the right call here? Is this really what I should have done? Because if they lose to the Guards, they're not even in the playoffs, right? And 100 Thieves, they're streaking away right now and actually looking like they've got a good team on their hands. Like, remarkable, as I say, what happens when you bring in some competent staff around the team itself. Ethan follows up with this: lose, lose, lose. Got to beat Guard next week to secure the playoffs. GG's 100 Thieves and Asuna, they look insane right now. That is certainly the case, and that means this is the case in Group A. 100 Thieves has solidified their spot in playoffs. NRG versus the Guard determines the final playoff spot, and with the 100 Thieves victory, TSM have now been eliminated, and from the rest of the year. Their elimination, their failure, TSM to get top 6, means they don't get the points from playoffs, and therefore they can't qualify for the LCQ. So TSM are done and dusted here for the season, despite such promise. Like, I mean, yeah, they're out of there, right? They're kind of in a Sentinel situation. They will not be playing for the remainder of the entire season. And as Valentez, since 100 Thieves won today, that means there's a do or die next week between the Guard and NRG. We'll have a look at how that looks here in a second. But yeah, 100 Thieves, they're storming up the rankings right now, 2-0 over NRG. Like, I mean, yeah, they dominated both maps. 13-9, it was Tex doing something, but Banger was honestly phenomenal on the Viper. And then 13-4, this is an ugly scoreboard on the side of NRG. And then the final series of the day was an incredibly interesting one, because LG aren't even LG anymore, right? They're still playing under the LG banner, because I guess they're still maybe getting paid for a little bit longer, right? They're still under contract kind of for now, but LG said a few days ago, they're gone. They're leaving the VCT. They're not going to be part of it anymore, but for now they still kind of have a roster, but they decided to effectively bin off their roster, right? They decided to get rid of their roster, and here they are delivering the goods up against Cloud9. Of course, we know Cloud9 for a brief period of time were the best team in North America, like kind of in that period last season. Well, for example, at Champions, right, they were the best team. Zeta decides to go to T1, Curry comes through, and since then, like it's been, a very quick downhill trajectory for this team. Crazy how quickly things change in Valorant, really. But LG win game 1, they win game 2 as well, and C9 get 2 zeros. That puts them in, an unwinnable situation for them in terms of their playoffs hopes here. Cloud9, like incredible team for a period of time. Zeta is gone, and now all of a sudden they look kind of lost in some of these series, right? And Curry, I feel like he's played okay, to be honest, but like the entire team has struggled drastically. And as Luminosity say, they qualified. Now, did they qualify? That's a question, because they don't really have a Valorant team anymore. They decided to drop them, but it's great for their Valorant team. It's great for the players that this is giving them a great chance to actually get picked up by another organization, because right now they are certainly making a name for themselves. They guaranteed to the playoffs. If they won Masters, or if they won the playoffs and got to Masters, that would be crazy, right? Because LG wouldn't, they wouldn't be called LG anymore, but still playing under their banner for now. Really interesting situation. But yeah, as Vanity says from Cloud9, we're out of the VCT when that loss sucks to suck, he says. And even Leaf goes on to say, out of the VCT, embarrassing result, an embarrassing tournament for me. Could have done a lot better. Armchair analysts, time to shine. So yeah, Cloud9, like, what an incredible turn of events there. That they were so good. They were solidified top 3 team, top 2 team in North America. They came top 3, of course, in the playoffs in stage 1. They narrowly missed out on actually going to Masters. And now Zeta, and of course their coach Autumn, decides to leave, go to T1, kind of join their project they're trying to build for next year. They bring Curry through as well from that team. team, and now they really can't get anything going. They're losing every single series they play, and now they're into a situation where they cannot qualify at all out through stage 2. OpTic, EG, LG, FaZe, those are the 4 teams that get through stage 2. FaZe, even if they lose next week, they still qualify because they will have the head-to-head tiebreaker up against Cloud9, even if Cloud9 take down Sentinels. As still, they might well do, right, but who knows if, Sentinels are going to kind of play spoiler in that one. But, I mean, yeah, here we go. So Cloud9 and Sentinels from Group B, like, I would not have predicted. I think Sentinels I kind of would have predicted, but, like, Cloud9 and Sentinels, the 2 teams failing to qualify from Group B, like, that's not what I would have said going into this stage. Incredible how Valorant works sometimes. But yeah, this is what it means for seeding possibilities. Evil Geniuses do get the first seed in Group B if they beat FaZe. That's, of course, pretty big for them. The winner of OpTic and LG gets it if Evil Geniuses loses. So, like, I mean, yeah, first seed, as I say, is important in North America because it gives you a bye in the winners bracket, which guarantees you a much better placing than you would have otherwise. Even G2 are kind of hopping on the bandwagon, throwing some daggers in at Cloud9 and Sentinels. Damn, they didn't even need a plane to go home. And there's a bit of, roast going back and forth in the replies. But tough stuff right now for both organizations. Cloud9, of course, will still be okay for the LCQ. They will have a chance to, of course, make champions regardless, as they did last time around. But LG right now are looking like the stronger force. A 2-0, pretty comfortable for them. I mean, B-Dog, of course, on the chain was a force as well, but still, this game when it was Dazzle, it was Moose that were really doing a lot of the damage here on the Fracture 13-11 in the end, and then Icebox 13-9. It's Tig and B-Dog that really take over this game as well, and Curry with a pretty tough time on the other side of things. So remarkable situation. That leaves the groups looking like this. So yes, this is Group B is very clear. These 4 teams are qualified. I think FaZe are probably going to be the number 4 seed regardless of what happens there, so they're going to start in losers, and that's the same over in Group A. OpTic, Ghost, and Exet, they can still fight it out for who's going to get the number 1, number 2, number 3 seed, but it's between the Guardian and RG. The winner of this series goes through. TSM are done and dusted. They can't win it with any tiebreaker situations in their favor because they just lose all the tiebreakers, unfortunately, to all of these teams. Of course, they only beat 100 Thieves and they're at the top. So Cloud9 out, Sentinels out, TSM out. What a day. Very much intrigued to your thoughts and all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on the like button and tell us your YouTube gods. This is a good video. I just like you should see it as well. And I grow the competitive Valorant community. Thank you as always. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.